So this young man over here is an EMT. Thank you for your service, brother. Not an easy job. So I was an EMT for years. I trained in heavy rescue. I love ripping cars apart, getting people out when they needed to be extricated. You know, I love that kind of work. So it was years ago, like a lot of years ago, and I was doing a lot of praying, right? Because I was riding with the ambulance. I was working for a company, but I was also I was volunteering for the town that I grew up in. Actually, I was living there, and so I was mixing illusions, and I was on call. I had my scanner, and I heard a call come in, and I didn't completely hear it, but like I heard the tones come in, and I just kind of ignored it a little bit, you know. Right? You're volunteering, you're out the door every fucking 8 seconds. It's crazy. But I kind of ignored it. And soon after, I heard a knock on my door. And where I was living at the time, my landlord was like the guy from Back to the Future. He was like Doc, like Marty, like that guy. So he fucking knocks on the door, and I open it up, and it's my buddy Steve. It's my landlord. He goes, Michael, I've never heard the train make this sound before. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And there was train tracks, you know, maybe 500 yards up the street from this apartment that I lived in. It was a CX line. I grew up there, you know, so the train was just part of our life. But I could see that the train had stopped, and I was like, uh-oh. I ran back in, I hit the repeat button, and heard that there was a call up there. So I got in my truck, and I drove up the road. And it started raining. I could see the train had stopped. Now, I'm going to preface this with, again, it was a hard time in music. It's always been a hard time in music for me. And I was like thinking, God, I'm miserable on the road. It's so fucking difficult. All this stuff is happening. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It was like prayers like that. Like, just show me what I'm supposed to do, Lord, and I'll fucking do it. Sorry for cursing, God, type thing. So I would say that prayer constantly. Like, just show me what am I supposed to do. Am I supposed to keep doing this music shit? And I'll do it, but if not. So the train stops. And I hop out of my car, and it's like really gray, and it's rainy, and I hop through the train cars, and I can see about 20 yards this way, there's a guy laying on the ground. There's 2 Dumont cops on him. There's a female cop and a male cop. And the female cop is new. I grew up in that town. I knew she was new. And so I run over there, and she's new. She's never seen anything like this. The guy got hit by a train. He's awake, right? He's conscious. He's pretty busted up. He's got a big gash in his head, bone sticking out this way. I know his ribs are broken. He's conscious. He's talking to me. I get his wallet, give it to the man, and I start asking this guy questions. Now, in my head, I know that about 200 yards this way is the Dumont Mental Health Center. So I start putting 2 and 2 together, and I'm talking to this guy, and every time I ask, like, what happened? Like, you know, are you on drugs? Are you diabetic? He just kept on saying, I just had a bad day. I just had a bad day. Turns out he stepped in front of the train. The train was only going, I don't know, maybe 30 miles an hour. So it hit him, and it botched him up real good. He was knocked up good. But you know, so we packaged him up. We put him in the rig, and we're driving to the hospital. And I remember seeing pictures of his family in his wallet. And so this is stewing in my brain, and so I'm like, oh God, let me just jump in here again, you know, this is craziness, you know, when you're doing that type of job, or really when you're a police officer, and, you see things that, you see people at their very, very worst, very, very worst, and you take that home with you. I'm the type of guy I needed to be debriefed all the time. I took stuff home with me all the time. But this hit home. So I remember praying in the back of that ambulance, and I'm not saying that I heard God, and there was no thunderclap or anything like that. I stayed with the guy at the hospital for as long as I could before, you know, I had to go. And it was like God spoke to me. I'm not saying that he did. Again, there were no words or anything. It was just, I knew that I wanted to get to people before they stepped in front of that train. Even though I loved doing emergency work, like I loved being an EMT, I really did. I rethought about my life and said, all right, maybe I have to rededicate myself to music and get to people before they step in front of these fucking trains. Hindsight, maybe I should have stayed in Enfield, but